A few housekeeping details. Throughout this session, you can send in your questions using the chat feature, and we'll do our best to address them. If you're interested in staying updated on future events, be sure to follow Dr. Campbell on all social media channels using the handle @Dr. Lisa L. Campbell. To contact Dr. Campbell outside of this event, simply scan the QR code that appears on your screen. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce our host, Dr. Lisa L. Campbell.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's session on the art of decision making. Now, originally, when I first organized this topic, it was really about finances. And my speaker for tonight was ill and unable to attend. And so I shifted the focus a tad bit, but I think that you will agree that this is going to be something, and I'll check in with you, that you are really, really, really going to enjoy. So, first thing is, let me make sure we got clarity on the title. So I'm going to ask my producer to get our cover up that gives us the full title of today's session so that you can have clarity. So we're talking about the art of decision making for making effective choices. The art of decision making for making effective choices. Now, the second thing that I'm going to ask my producer to put up is a book that I just finished reading. And this book is called Atomic Habits: Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results, an Easy and Proven Way to Build Good Habits and Break Bad Ones. And this was written by James Clear. All right, guys, let's dig on in to this topic tonight. So I am a person who is constantly learning. And so tonight, I want to just give you 1/10 of my takeaways from reading this book. And when I say 1/10, guys, I tell you that there is so much that you can learn from reading this book. And let me just set the stage for my process. Okay. So, first, let me just tell you, I got 10 points that we're going to cover today. And before I get started, let me check out the chat. Who is in the virtual building today? Where are you streaming in from? Where are you streaming in from? I know we got some folks from the Chicagoland area. So I'm going to jump right into my 10 points. As you guys know, this is a 30-minute session. And so I probably got about 25 more minutes to go. So I'm going to start with my first point, which is about being in a state of constant learning. And I want to be very clear that when I talk about constant learning, I'm not talking about going to school. I'm talking about putting yourself in position to be ready for what's going to happen next in your life. And I'm not talking about something that I read. I'm talking about something that I am currently experiencing. I am going to make a huge transition to my life before the end of the year. And in order for me to be ready for that point, I had to prepare. I had to put some seeds in the ground that are now harvesting from 5, 10, 15 years ago. So I have to put myself in a state of constant learning, and I do that by reading. I am currently in a state of an emergency. There are some things that I've wanted to do that I have, honestly, if I could be honest, I doubted myself, which led me to where I am today. But if you heard me mention a couple of weeks ago, I've gotten comfortable being uncomfortable, and that honestly has resulted in lots of crying. If you're not afraid to cry, I want you to type in the chat, I am not afraid to cry. And you may be wondering, why am I talking about crying? I'm talking about crying because sometimes, a lot of times, you're holding in so much weight that it is tearing, it is ripping you apart. So, producer, let's see who's in the chat who's saying they are not afraid to cry. Because I know there are some folks who are saying they're not afraid to cry. And let me just tell you, I was on a call today. And you know, if you haven't figured this out right now, I am a person that believes in authenticity, transparency, and where I am right now at this moment, I'm almost crying every day. In fact, I was on a call earlier today, and after the call, I literally broke down and ran to my husband and was crying like a baby. And I said to myself as I was crying, I can't take it anymore. I gotta get to the place that I've been preparing for all of these years. And just when you are on the brink of that point that you've been preparing for, excuse my French, but that's when all hell breaks through. That's when you start to think that you don't deserve it. You start dealing with imposter syndrome, but you know you're ready. But let me explain to you what happens. So, what happens is that there are people and there are situations that come into your space to test you to see how strong you really are. And you know that commercial, that deodorant commercial that says, never let them see you sweat? Woo, that's rough when you're going through. All right, point number 2, which really takes me to some things that I learned from reading Atomic Habits. And that was about having daily habits, daily rituals that you do. Yesterday at 3:45 a.m. Central Time, I heard a voice that said to me internally, if you take the first step, I'll carry you the rest of the way. And at 3:45, still in the middle of my asthma exacerbation, I got out of the bed and went downstairs, turned on my Peloton bike, and I got on it. Now, you may be wondering, you heard a voice or something going on. Don't worry about that part. Don't worry about the mess. Worry about the message. So as I'm riding my Peloton bike, I begin to cry again. And I am crying again because I'm so close to what I've been preparing for that it's terrifying. And everything that could happen is happening to try to just throw me off my game. But I decided that I owe me. I owe my friends and my family and my community who has been supporting me, who has been encouraging me to take the first step. And in the book where he talks about the small daily habits, it's just the little bitty things that you do to get you closer to your goal. So let me give you one example from the book. He talked about an entrepreneur who is struggling to grow their business. And he talked about one little small habit of making one sales call a day. Now, I can tell you, as an entrepreneur, I hate making sales phone calls. In my mind, I'm the talent, right? So since I'm the talent and I'm posting on social media and letting everybody know about the things that I do, that's not enough. So in the book, he talked about having 2 jars, one with marbles in it and one with no marbles. And just start with one phone call a day. And as you make the phone call, take a marble out and put it into the jar. So I decided that that was one small habit that I was going to start immediately. Now, I don't have any marbles, so I'm going to use some bingo chips, but the process, the outcome is the same. Because see, the end result is I can check once a week how many sales calls I've made. What was the end result of the sales call? Maybe they don't need my services today. Maybe they can't afford my services today. But nonetheless, I'm making the phone call to plant the seed that these are the services that I provide. This is how I can provide them to you. And then next year, when they have the funding, they'll remember me because that won't be the only time I'll call them. All right, point number 3. Woo! Point number 3. This is a big one. Success is the product of daily habits. So what happens every January? Everybody makes these New Year's resolutions, and we're all going to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, right? And let me just tell you what happens. Now, if you know this is true, I want you to type true in the chat. So this is what happened. You motivated, you're going to get your summer body on, and so you pay this monthly fee. And so you start on January, right? And so January, February, March, April, May, June rolls around, and you only been to the gym once. Now, I'm no personal trainer, but I do know if you only go once a month, you probably won't have the results that you're looking for. So in the book, James Clear gives an example of just set it on your calendar that you're going to go and you're just going to do 2 minutes. Now, I know you're thinking 2 minutes, that's not enough to have an outcome. But guess what? If you put your clothes on and you go and get in the car every day, at some point, your brain is going to say, okay, self, 2 minutes is not enough for me to achieve the outcome that I'm trying to achieve, AKA, the summer body. If you know it's true, I want you to type a true in the chat. Because 2 minutes a day, every day, at some point, you are going to make some change. So producer, let's see what's going on over in the chat. I like to check the chat out just to see what's going on. All right, so we got nothing new going on, so I'm going to keep on going. So the daily habits that you do, you have to start off small, but you have to make a decision because today's presentation is about decision making. You have to make a decision that that's what you're going to do. So let me just share with you my personal plan, my decision plan. I know that I am more mentally stable. I am in a place of zen if I work out before I turn the computer on, before I check the cell phone. So here's a couple of things that I started doing. Number one, and I started this week. One thing about me, I'm going to tell you that this is so important. This 30-minute growth session is not scripted. I think about what I'm going to talk about and I execute because I want to pour into you the things that you need to get to where you're going. So I said for myself, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. The only device that I'm going to have in my bedroom is my watch because I got to put my watch on because I need the watch, to track my steps. So I'm going to put my watch on, but my iPad and my cell phone, I'm going to put in the closet on the charger so that I have to get up to go get the phone to turn the alarm off on my way downstairs to the Peloton. Additionally, and I want you to watch my steps, I am putting my watch on. I'm going to the phone to stop the alarm. I'm getting on the scale to see what I weigh today. I'm not concerned about numbers per se because, I'm in the 50 club. So I'm focusing on muscle, right? Muscle versus fat. And then I'm taking my phone, my earbuds, and I'm going downstairs and I'm going to get on my machine of choice. Just that small little habit, if I do it continuously, I can handle the day. But if I don't, I struggle to handle the day. So just small daily habits is what leads to long-term success. I think today we're in this microwave generation where everybody thinks things should happen instantaneously. That's not how life is. Now, I'm just going to tell you about me. I played the Powerball, when it get to the billions. And how many know that I have not won yet? So that's proof that success is not something that happens immediately. You got to put in the work to get to that place. All right, point number 4. Whew, this is one that hit me like a ton of bricks. It's those breakthrough moments that let you know that you are on the right track and you need to continue on. But you got to put those seeds in the ground to get to that place. Case in point, I told you earlier, I broke down crying after a meeting. And I kid you not, an hour ago, someone emailed me and said, we have this need at our medical clinic. And for those of you who don't know, yes, I am the growth motivator. I help individuals and organizations shed the weight that's holding them hostage. But I am a healthcare professional with 31 years of experience in clinical documentation improvement, provider education, and healthcare compliance. In addition to, because I know some people are going to say, are you a coder? Yes, I am also a certified coder. And so the email for me was a breakthrough moment because I realized that my name is being spoken in rooms that I'm not even sitting in because I've been preparing myself for those moments. It's a breakthrough moment. All right, point number 5. We only got 10 points. Point number 5. Big things come from small beginnings. And I just want to be very clear that Our conversation tonight, which is about the art of decision making, are the direct result of life experiences. What's happened, life is life, right? But me reading the book Atomic Habits, an easy and proven way to break good habits or build good habits. Let me get it right. Build good habits and break bad ones. Let's see what's going on in the chat. So big things come from small beginnings. Big things come from small beginnings. So I have been on an entrepreneurship journey since 2002. And some people say, you must have a lot of money. And let me just explain to you. In the entrepreneurial space, there are times where you're making money, and there are times when you're not making money, but you still got to pay the bills at home. And if you got a commercial space like we do, you got to pay those bills as well. But big things come from small beginnings, and they happen if you stay the course. If you know that there is something that you are destined to do, you got to move you out of the way, your self-doubt, your imposter syndrome, and put together a plan for growth. Point number 6. Mastery requires patience. I teach medical coding, and I oftentimes tell my students it takes 3 to 5 years to master coding. And many of them are caught up in the I got to get an A mentality. And as much as I preach to them about no one is going to hire you because of an A, they're going to hire you because you actually can abstract and dissect and code a medical record accurately. Some of them don't see it. They think, I signed up for a class, I paid for the class, so surely that's what's going to unlock the door. But they are not willing to be patient. Practice makes progress. It's selfish to try to be perfect because none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. But whatever that thing is that you want to do, you've got to practice it. Someone said to me, how are you so good at speaking? I have been teaching since 1997 and have been speaking professionally since 2003. And so mastery of the process required me to be patient, to make some mistakes. I still make mistakes. But guess what? I am authentic in my approach and my process, and I continue to learn and grow. Point number 7. We're doing good on time because we got 30 minutes. All right. The most powerful outcomes are delayed. When I wrote this, I said I wasn't going to cry. Because when I tell you I am experiencing this right now as we speak, I mean it. I know that something big is about to happen to me, through me, for me, and I know it's going to be powerful. But it has been delayed because I wasn't ready. It has been delayed because there was some weight that I needed to shed, that I was holding on to, that was holding me back. But I got it now. I see the path. It's been made clear. And I don't care if I keep crying, because guess what? In my new book, Grow With Me, I talked about in my dream how I saw large stages that I was walking on. And the producer said, show the book. All right, producer. Because for those of you who don't know, producer is hubby. And when I say hubby got my back, he got my back. So in my new book, Grow With Me, which is available right now, I just got another shipment today. I talk about how I had a dream about me walking on stage speaking. And the stage that I was on is bigger than I've ever seen in my life. But in order to get there, I had to go through all the things so that I'm decent and in order when I get there. When I get up to speak in public settings, I am always nervous. And I say a prayer to myself. I say, Lord, let the words of my mouth and now I can't even think about it. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable. Because when I get up on the stage to speak, when I'm in front of a classroom to educate the future generation of healthcare professionals, when I'm on a big stage and I'm motivating others, I want my heart to jump right into their heart. I grew up in a solid foundation of love and support. And over the last 30 years, I've been on this trajectory of becoming Dr. Lisa L. Campbell, the brand. Point number 8. 4 laws of behavior change. So in the book, you got to read the book, okay? And I'm just going to tell you about me. And let's see what's going on in the chat. In the book, he talks about the 4 laws of behavior change. You have to create habits that are obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. You got to read the book to get the rest, because listen, I have this on Audible and I'm reading and listening at the same time because I'm taking notes. And I even went down as far as write down, I read this part, August 13th at 6:10 p.m. Because I've been sick. Sometimes it was at 11 o'clock p.m. It was at 2 in the morning. But my point is, those 4 laws of behavior change are powerful. Point number 9, and we're going to wrap this up. The valleys of disappointments. You heard me mention this before, and I'm just going to restate it for effect. A few months ago, I was in the process of bidding on a medical coding project. As a woman-owned business, a minority-owned business, the opportunity was presented to me. And this is something that I wanted because it would allow me to give individuals who may not otherwise have an opportunity to work as a coder, where I can work with them elbow to elbow to support them in their growth. It's by no secret that my book is titled Grow With Me, because I'm building the growth motivator community where I can help support others in their growth journey. Everybody doesn't have a community that's holding them down. So here at the Growth Motivator community, we're going to be there when you experience the valleys of disappointment. So back to the proposal. So this proposal was right around the time for my birthday party. I, turned 50 this year. And so I didn't really do my due diligence to prepare the proposal. I didn't tap into some of my resources, my community that could have helped me complete the paperwork. And so I hit the submit button, and there was one file that was missing. And I was thinking it was a file that I didn't need because it asked about diversity. I'm thinking I'm diverse, so I hire diverse folks. So we don't need to talk about that. I hit the submit button, and that one piece of paper prevented me from being in the running for that project. I laid in this office floor on my face and I cried because I said, I've let people down, people I haven't even met yet that needed that opportunity. I let them down. So I was in this valley of disappointment laying on the floor. How many of you have experienced disappointments that have caused you to lay on the floor and cry? Type me in the chat. It's okay. This is a safe space. Nobody's here to judge you because guess what? When I got up off the floor from crying, I realized the mistakes that I had made. But it wasn't a mistake that I was going to continue to beat myself up about. It was an opportunity for growth. And so the next time that the proposal presents itself, and not if, when the proposal presents itself, I will be ready. Because there are people who are waiting on me, who need me, who haven't been given the opportunities that I've been given, and I am the vehicle that's going to get them to where they want to be. Point number 10, and then we're going to wrap it up. I am focusing on getting my life in order. Now, let me just tell you, these points that I gave you was just from chapter 1, the introduction and chapter 1. I am focusing on getting my life in order because I know that I am on the brink of something big. And in order to do that, I got to get my house in order. This is my final point. Tonight, we were supposed to have a speaker who was going to talk about finances. And so part of me getting my house in order was looking at my finances. What are things that I'm paying for monthly that I don't even use? I printed all of my bank statements from 2023 and I highlighted anything that was a reoccurring charge. And if I'm not using it, I got rid of it. Let me tell you how things happen. Some of the stuff, they like, you got to come in to cancel. That's a distractor. They're trying to distract you from canceling. But guess what? Not on my watch. That does not serve me at this time. And in order to get to the place that I'm trying to get to, I have to shed my own weight financially, emotionally, physically, that's holding me hostage. So when I stand on this big stage that I've seen in my dreams, I will shed it that weight so that I can pour into my community. It has been an honor to present to you today's 30 minutes of growth. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Did you guys like today's presentation? Did you like today's presentation? Let me tell you, I've been sick for 3 weeks and I am on fire. If you can't tell, my friends that know me intimately, who I referenced in the book, they said, oh yeah, she ready. Because they've been watching my growth and development. And they're like, oh yeah, it's about to happen. Well, guys, I can't remember what we're talking about next week. I do have a guest speaker because the guest speaker confirmed with me today. As I mentioned at the top of August, my goal is to have a guest speaker every month. And so here's the last thing. We're going to put a QR code up, guys, because I want you to purchase your copy of Grow With Me. So guys, just give me a second. The producers got to get the QR code up and you will be able to see it. So it's going to be a little picture that's going to pop up that says Grow With Me. So producer, click on that right there. Yeah, click there. All right. If you want a copy of Grow With Me, scan the QR code and purchase your copy today. And we're going to leave that up for a while because I want to make sure that you get your copy of Grow With Me. The book signing party will be happening on August 26th. We are going to have a virtual option. The producer will be in the building streaming live, and we are going to have a party. This is a celebration of life. This is a celebration of my 50 years of shedding the weight. And I see some folks in the chat already saying that they got their copy. Thank you so much for your support. Now, those of you who are in the book, you got to go figure out what page you're on because there are lots of my community members that are in the book. And I am so excited about the journey. So we're going to leave the QR code up for now. We'll give it about 60 more seconds, and then we will end the live session. Thank you so much for joining tonight.
We would like to express sincerest appreciation to each one of you for joining us today. If you have any further questions or would like to connect with Dr. Campbell, please take a moment to scan the QR code on your screen. On behalf of Dr. Lisa L. Campbell and the entire team, we want to thank you once again for your participation. We hope you found today's event valuable and wish you a wonderful rest of your day.